Hey folks, welcome back to Keith's Garage. This week we got a short, brief video. I'm a member of the local vintage car club here in Kamloops, British Columbia. And yesterday we had an Easter drive and a car show. And the local media radio station, a TV station, featured a couple of us on a little news article. So I'll share that with you coming up here next. I did want to point out that really cool story there. The previous owner of this car, he was a young boy in the 50s and 60s, and his dad used to own this car, and he saw the car on YouTube, and he found me, and he reached out to me, and he actually sent me some photos of the car back in the day. I'll share those with you. Those are coming up. Here's the news clip, and then I'll show you some photos. So this is my actual car, so check it out.
Also this holiday weekend, the Kamloops chapter of the Vintage Car Club held its annual car parade on Easter Sunday. Riverside Park, home to more than 60 vehicles that ranged in age from 1911 to 1998. As Adel Ahmed reports, the stories behind the cars appear to be just as important as their shiny exteriors.
This is how people in Kamloops spent their Easter Sunday, checking out some of the most vintage cars at Riverside Park during the Vintage Car Parade and Show and Shine.
That's our horn. Yeah, I know the horn.
The main attraction people had their eyes on was a 1911 Buick Mclaughlin. The oldest car on display is owned by Jerry Wallin, who is a member of the Vintage Car Club here in Kamloops. He purchased it in 1990 from the previous owner, who had plans to sell the car at the Barrett-Jackson auction house in Arizona.
Ed Shaw was restoring the car to take it to Arizona to sell it at Barrett-Jackson. When he told me the history of the car, where it came from, who owned it, and being the first automobile in Ashcroft, I didn't think it should go to Barrett-Jackson. So I bought it.
So I've got a push button here. That was an option.
Keith Barron is the owner of this 1938 Chrysler Royal. When he first purchased the vehicle 2 years ago, he quickly realized there was some unique history behind it, dating all the way back to the original owner who bought the vehicle on his wedding day.
His bride stood him up at the altar and she didn't show up. And he took the money from the honeymoon and he bought this car.
Through his YouTube channel, Keith's Garage, Barron was able to connect with the son of the second owner.
And he's like, my dad used to own that car. And he said, when we were little kids, there's no back seat. But the family couldn't afford a four-door sedan, possibly. So they got a good deal on the two-door coupe. And the kids used to stand behind the seat in the back area. It was never designed for a seat.
Through their stories, Barron and Wallin say it's the human interaction that they love most when it comes to their car.
Complete strangers coming up to me going, wow, you know, and that's exciting to me. You know, every time I go to the gas station, I cannot get gas without strangers coming and talking about the car, and I think it's fantastic.
The people who come around and ask the questions, it's very, it gets you.
Adel Ahmed, CFJC News.
This is an original photo taken at least after 1955. In the background there, that is my original 1938 Chrysler, back when it was just a daily driver. Just parked on the street, just a typical, car scene in the 50s. Someone told me the car in the foreground here, that is a 1955 Studebaker Commander. So I'm just tickled pink to have these photos of my car back in the day. This is the next photo the previous owner gave me. It's dated October 1962. I find it very interesting to be able to look at my car when it was in its original condition back so many years ago. I noticed in this photo that at that time, the owners had upgraded to the new improved sealed beam headlights. And I'm grateful that the fellow who owned the car before me, who restored it, he found the original headlights, the glass, the dished glass, and non-sealed. They just have the bulbs in there, just a little 6-volt bulb.